Brian Burns in the movie. His real name is John Martin. Right there. John Martin, you're on the air with Ally McCoist, Robert Duvall, Owen, I was going to say Owen Paul there, Owen Coyle.
I've been called a lot worse.
Hello, guys. I'm all right.
John, what's your memories of working on the movie?
Working with the fucking clowns there. No, there was a good few. I had, I think there was one there where we were going to training, I think it was, and Ali, as fucking usual, he was late, and we were all standing there, and Robert was giving us all the spill, and after we trained, they got us together again, and they told us to walk or jog back to the park. So I just had a big spat in his car and saying, "You're a fucking wanker." That was quite funny, actually. Do you remember that, Ali?
Oh, I can remember it well, mate. It took me about 300 quid to clean the car for it.
I come a bit with the fucking soles of my shoes.
Oh, I remember it well, pal.
Now, John McVeigh was explaining to me earlier that the reason for the name changes of the characters was based on whether you had lines in the movie. John, you, for example, played Ian McVeigh. Owen Coyle played Owen Coyle. John Martin, you played Brian Burns. So, John McVeigh, could you explain how that worked with regards to, and obviously, Ali?
Well, you've heard Coyle speaking on here, so that should explain that itself.
He's not been fucking talking, is he?
Sorry, I'm not. What's that like?
Listen, Coyle.
It's one of John's teen talks.
Hey, don't listen. Hey, see would have happened if you'd have listened. You might have became a player.
I know. I scored 600 goals.
Aye, instead of the 599. Listen, what a lot of people don't know is, right? See Big John every other day. Big John Man every other day was in makeup, right? Getting himself sorted out for different parts in the movie.
It must have been close right then, wasn't it?
Listen, I've got the proof here. Ross, can I show him a few photographs here?
Yes, please do.
Right, that's John there doing a photographer behind the phone.
Oh, that's really nice.
Right, here's John here, looking as if he's driving one of the antique cars.
I fucking look like that now.
every day you used to get a different disguise on. You come out and get a bit of part in the movie. He's played about 12 characters in this movie.
Aye, but I only got paid for fucking one.
Hey, John, whose idea was it to give him the part of the goalkeeper?
What was that, Ali?
I was just singing your praises there, big man.
Aye, my fucking boss. I can mind when the whole lot was all done, and Robert taking us to the hotel that he was staying in, and it was a big fucking fancy thing. Things was like a fucking gypsies, man, honestly. So we had a meal in that, and Robert was gone with this bird. She must have been 24. She was fucking gorgeous.
That's his wife, John.
I said to Duvall, I said, "You've either got a big cock or a plate of dough." He turned around and says, "Big man, I've got both." I went, "All right." Oh, fucking you see that? I can remember that. That's
brilliant.
You remember the guy that played the goalie, Cole Hauser?
Yes, Cole Hauser.
He got off the plane. He had a jet lag, and you guys ran him in the ground. He got so tired.
Bobby, see, for us, the whole thing in Scotland was so surreal. You know, meeting people like yourself, and you're probably one of the most down-to-earth guys I've ever met in my life. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. You know, absolutely incredible. So humble, so full of humility. And I'll never forget a lot of the things that we threw together, you know, an interim period when we were trying to get the movie up and running. But it was absolutely fantastic, a great experience.
Ali, how did you first land the role? Because I believe there was, I remember that Robert Carlyle was up for the lead role in this originally.
He was a good natural actor, 30 pounds lighter.
Can I interject there? Hey, I'll tell you, I went to a meeting way before the movie got up and running, and it was at Nicknames Restaurant in Glasgow, and Bobby was there, Rob Carliner, Dennis, Michael Carente. We were all there for a meal. My wife and I were there, and there was discussions about who should play the role. And if you remember at the time, what was said was, you can get, you can't get an actor and teach him how to play football, but you get a football player and teach him how to act. You know, and I don't mean that to be condescending to actors, but
Yeah.
it'd be much easier for real live action, for a footballing perspective, to get someone who could play. And Ali, I've got to say, you were fifth on the list. The other five could make it.
I'll tell you the thing I'm still concerned about. I get promised, Ali, you'll do this, you'll do that, you'll do the next thing. Your Winnebago won't be as big as Mr. Duvall's, but it'll be a fair size. Right? So I turned up on the set, Bob, thinking, here, I've made it. I've got my own Winnebago. I'll have my wee bits and pieces. I opened up the door to my Winnebago, and it was like a plague of locusts inside. Big Andy Smith's lying on my couch. Coyle and Blackie have got their feet up my table. Sandy Stewart's in my fridge.
He was still man Martin.
By the way, to be fair, he thought I was in there.
I don't know if it's been told about that. You know, the one when we were at Queen of the South, and Michael Carente, the director, had said, "Listen, it was for Coisty. What I want Jimmy Boyle and Peter Henderson to play 2-1-2s, go to the byline. I want you to chip the ball into the penalty spot in Coisty. I want you to do an overhead kick, put it in the corner, and we'll go for there." Now, we all looked at each other in disbelief, thought, fuck, that can't happen. That's just, you know, that'd be 1 in a million for that to happen. And the other thing was, for us, the boys that were involved in it, you know, when John McVeigh got us all involved in it, any chance that we could get into the screen, we were, you know, score a goal, we would jump in to try, because we didn't have too many lines. Anyway, so sure enough, Jimmy Boyle plays it, and I'm in the box with Coisty, and I went, that'll never happen. He says, I know Coyle, but let's go with it. So anyway, Peter Henderson and Boyle had played the 2-1-2s. Boyle goes to the byline, chips a great ball in, and to be fair to Coisty, he goes up like fucking, honestly, just rises like a salmon, overhead kick, and fucks it in the top corner. We couldn't believe it, honestly. It was, and so we've all piled on top of Coisty, just be sheer joy, it was an incredible moment. And then obviously Michael Carente shouts, cut. So we step out and he says to the cameraman behind the goal, he says, "Did you get that?" And the boy says, "Yeah, I think so, but could we do it again?" Could we do it again? Oh, but honestly, that's some Coisty up when he was asking. Go on.
Coyle, I need to tell you, we'd still be there now if we could try and do that again.
But in fairness, when you see it back, what a goal. I mean, it was unbelievable. It really was.
Normally, you get into a cup final, right? And everybody's wanting to play in a cup final. I don't know how many people came to me and said, "Can you put me in the bench?" And I said, "What are you going to be in the bench for?" So the camera's going to be in Bobby.
Can I just ask Mr. Duvall, if I may, what made you want to get involved in a movie about soccer in Scotland? Because I know soccer isn't as big in America as it is in Europe.
Anything's a challenge. Whatever's a challenge, you try to jump into it right in the middle. You know what I'm saying? It was a pretty neat thing from the beginning. So I want to be part of it, you know.
When you did the accent, the Scottish accent, who was your role model for that?
You had to work on it because it's like a foreign language. A foreign language.
I can see from your...
It's a little German, a little Scandinavian, a little bit of everything. I had a dog, I named him Wee Jimmy. After Wee Jimmy Johnson, I had a dog, a little Scottish dog.
That's
little brown
right.
Scottish dog we had for a few years down here in Virginia. It was nice, yeah. Yeah, well, we had a great time in Scotland. The people were terrific people. Yeah, we had a great time. Yeah. My wife's from northern Argentina, and she didn't know what to expect, but she loved it over there. Over there, they didn't even know who the mayor of their own town was over there in Glasgow. They didn't even know who was running the show. We went to the Borders. It was great.
Listen, I'm going to ask Ali, when did they break the news to you were going to play a Celtic player?
Well, halfway through the film.
What was it like? After the movie came out, what was the reaction from the Rangers fans seeing you in a skill?
It was good. You know, there's a lot of fun involved, and still to this day, even on the radio show, some of the boys might have heard it. They'll play bits and pieces from the movie when they're trying to wind me up and having a bit of fun and things like that. But it was amazing because they did. It was one of the shows that they did on Talk Sport that I listened to, and there was kind of 4 football critics and journalists on, and they were actually talking about their best football movie. And I kid you not, A Shot at Glory won it. It was their favourite out of about 4 or 5 movies. So, you know, it must have been all right. But it was just like Coyle said, it was just an absolute joy to be around so many great people. And John's got it right. I'll never forget the humility and friendship from Bob.
Ali, can you remember we went over to Canada for the Toronto Film Festival?
Oh, yeah.
Right. The movie in downtown Toronto, and Bobby kindly invited us over, and it was absolutely fantastic. Red carpet stuff and whatever. So I remember sitting just next to you at the movie, and it finished. And I don't know if you remember us turning around looking, and we burst out laughing. You says, "You're waiting for the same as me. The credits take off." But then after it, the question answer thing after it, right? And this boy puts his hand up to ask a question, and he says, "I'm an expat Scot living in Canada." He says, I'm a Rangers supporter." He says, "Ali, I can't believe you missed a penalty." You says, "I know it took 12 takes to get it."
I've extended it now, John. When MD asked you the question, how you on with the acting, I said I was fine until I had to miss a penalty. It took me 2011 takes.
Sandy Stewart joining us. He's the final guest joining us in the chat. Also appeared in A Shot at Glory.
You're bringing Sandy in. I remember the part about Sandy. He running up the wing and he tried to cross it in. He couldn't get it by the first man. And the director says, "Can you just pick it up and throw it?" and that never stuck. Eh?
Can I tell the boys a story?
Please do.
I remember the cup final at Hampden. Honestly, God, there's about 30,000 folk in the stadium, and we came in at half time, and like Coyle said, whether it was a celebration or whatever it was, all the boys were trying to get into the shot so they get a wee piece of the film. So we came in, we're getting beat at half time, we're not playing well, and Bobby has a right go at us. So they picture the scene. We come into the dressing room, we're meant to be arguing with each other. And then Bobby comes in and says, "Sit down," and we all sit down. But all the boys are arguing, and they're all trying to get the last word before Bobby says, "Sit down," so that they're going to be in the movie, you know? So, about take 4, eventually Carenti's like, shut it. He said, "Come on." He said, "Have a go at each other, but just calm down a wee bit. Just calm down and let Bob come in." So this is the final take. We come in, we're having a wee go at each other, and then somebody said, "You know, how'd you miss that one?" And then Bobby says, "Sit down." And just as he says, "Sit down," Coyle says, "A bit of hush for the gaffer."
I remember the time we went, remember the ceremony, we were getting our blazers. And it was at a Holland Park shows or something like that. And it was like we were going to be there for 10 hours or something. It was a long day. So it was all the kegs with the back of the bar where we were standing. And I said to the boy, I says, "Maybe see the kegs? Are they full?" And he went, "Aye." He says, "But there's only one got alcohol in it. All the rest of them are not non-alcoholic." I said, "Well, you better send out for some more.
Aye, you remember the blazers we got?
Aye.
And the immortal line is, I'm not wearing that. Ross, see 3 weeks after that movie, I seen Ali out of Victoria's with that blazer on.
I think it was doing it in the south as well. I think it was the time when Ali had the overhead kick. And I think they were trying, I didn't get the striker for Queen of the South at the time, but he was trying to put it through my fucking legs, right? So I can't even mind it. I was honestly, I couldn't have spread my legs any fucking further for him. And he kept putting it to the left and the right. I says, right, hold on. Can you mind who this striker was? No.
Was it Coley? No?
No, it wasn't Ian McCall. He got sent off.
The boy Bryson or Harkness or something.
It was something like that. But anyway, eventually we got there. And obviously we goes in at half time and Duvall has a fucking go at me. And it's one of them. Ali's sitting right next to me. And Coyle's sitting across from me. Like, and again, I've got a bit of stuttering there. I went, she should have shut. He says, no, you fucking mad, should have shut her legs. Honestly, he just couldn't.